So Petey saved me once again. Right, inside is filthy. I don't know what it is with these Fabias. I've had a number of these now, and these seats all end up like this, all dirty. So that's going to need a really good wet clean. I mean, again, there's no tears or holes in it, so a good proper clean should get it out. So again, probably get the boys to it. It's got no remote on it, but I've had that on these Fabias before. There's only 54,000 miles on this Fabia. So last video, guys, I lost the footage of a walk around on the Fabia when I first picked it up at BCA to show you the bodywork on it. One of the things with this car is I didn't want to have to paint it because the colour would be a cow to match. And what I did video and somehow lost the footage of was the fact that actually the bodywork is really, really good on it. It's got some scratches and stuff, but it doesn't actually need repainting. It's all in really nice nick actually for the age, and I think it's going to polish up fine, so I'm just going to do a bodywork polish on it. Hey Pete, you put a cam belt in it?
Cam belt, alternator, everything.
Okay.
Running like a dream.
So this will be blown up in about 10 seconds when we turn the key. So I stone chipped the wheels on the Fabia, and I put the new wheel trims on. So now we're going to machine polish the body and get our photo shoot done with a new nice clean interior. Well, I've just finished machine polishing the Fabia, and if I do say so myself, I think she looks pretty darn good. The paintwork's come up really nicely. Luckily, like I say, no painting to be done. It's all pretty straight down the sides. The only bit of paintwork on it is a little bit of lacquer peel there, but other than that, it's good. I've got some flaky bits here. I might get some plaster dip and just touch it in. But no, other than that, she's in good now. There's a few light scratches here, but for a 2010 car, I think she actually looks pretty good. And like, I nearly forgot, engine bays had a good old clean up, spruce up as well. Didn't need an awful lot, to be fair. Used the Moonshine interior cleaner for the plastics. I'll put a link down below with the 25% discount on it. I know it's supposed to be for interiors, but I figure plastics are plastics, so I used the Moonshine stuff on it, and it looks really good. It's giving it all a nice shine. I used waterless wax first, so I didn't douse the engine bay, and then gave it a liberal spraying of the Moonshine interior plastics cleaner, and then a little wipe down. It's looking very nice. The Fabia all done. She's had her photo shoot and she's all ready to go, and she looks pretty amazing, to be fair. Everyone that's come by the unit today has commented on how smart it looks. You know, hell of a result finding the V5 and finding out there's only a one owner from new car. Hell of a result. But we have an issue. Now I can only assume before I picked up the car on Saturday from Bridgewater that it had been shortly moved from the yard out to the pickup area, because when I started it I had no problems with the engine at all. But when I moved it earlier today, after having it sit for a while, we got the chain rattle. So we got the noise where you can hear that the tensioner hasn't quite come out quickly enough, and you get a bit of slapping chain. So we now know potentially why this fantastic condition 50,000 mile one owner Skoda was traded in, probably because they were told they were going to need a chain on it. Now obviously it starts up and sounds absolutely perfect at any other time. It's only when it's been sitting for a day or a number of hours and the oil pressure's dropped, obviously the oil's dropped down to the sump in the engine. It's that very initial startup, and it would probably go on for thousands and thousands of miles as it is, but you know that isn't my style. We're going to have to do the chain on it, which is going to add £200 at least to cost, probably more like £250 by the time we're done and dusted. So she's not the perfect little flip we thought she was, but I am going to ask decent money for this car, and I have got a lady that wants to come see it tomorrow morning already, and she's already seen it advertised at $2,795, and that gives me enough money to do the chain and still make a decent margin out of the car and keep everyone happy. if someone wants to hand me down on price, then I'm not going to do the chain. Don't forget, I'm going to put a brand new MOT on it tomorrow as well. So it's going to have a brand new MOT, a service and a chain at 2795 for a 2010 with 55,000 miles. Can you get in cheaper? Yes, you can. Will you be sold them with less preparation than this? Absolutely. If you want to take this car away with a rattling chain, like any private seller would probably let you, and a lot of dealers would let you, and just say, well, it's not a brand new car, guys, then you can get them cheaper. But the work we're going to do on this potentially means that it's going to last for a hell of a lot longer, and I'm not going to blag into anybody into saying that it's perfectly okay that it does that, because if it was for me, I'd probably run it as it was for the money. But no, we're going to have to get it done. But I mean, the work those boys did on the interior on this car and the way it's come up after the machine polish, it really is in fantastic condition. So it's well worth doing, and whoever had this is going to have a fantastic, smart looking little car that is going to do them for a hell of a lot longer yet. So like I say, my whole idea of my channel is to make you realise, guys, that it isn't all about dealers making a fortune out of cars. There really isn't that much money in this end of the market if people are going to look after and do things properly. Sure, if I did nothing to this, just polished it, stuck it out the door, didn't service it, sold it with the MOT that's left on it, which is about what, 4 or 5 months, I'd be raking in probably 1,500 quid off this car. You know, or make 1,000 selling it at sort of like £2,195. I could do it that way round. Just doesn't sit right with me, and I'm not slagging anybody else for doing that, because obviously they're probably potentially going to let people have the car at a lower price, so it all balances out in the grand scheme of things. But this channel is all about the honest truth of car dealing, and this is the honest truth. You don't get cars at auction that don't have problems, unless you're very, very lucky. I advertised the Skoda. The following day a lady came out and had a look at it, who had missed out on one of my cars earlier, and so she wanted first dibs on this one. She's just called me up and she's purchased it. She was a bit nervous. It's the first time she's bought a car. She recognises she's buying an older car, but she's still nervous about potential problems with it. So I did her a bit of a deal and extended the warranty out to 6 months for her, rather than 3 months. And then she's paid a little bit more to take it out to 12 months. We've still got to do the timing chain on it. That kit's still due to come in, so we'll do the timing chain and the service on it, and then it'll be all ready for a 2795 is the price being agreed on that. So 2795 for a 50,000 mile 2010 little Skoda Fabia, let's say, with a new timing chain and service. You know, obviously we could have made profit just leaving the timing chain as it is. I imagine most people wouldn't notice, but it just would have bugged me knowing that, you know, that it was gonna go at some point. You know, it could have been thousands of miles, but it would have been needed to be done, and it would have been a very big cost for someone who was doing it through a garage. So for us to do it, it's just really the cost of the parts. So I probably will throw Pete 100 quid, although I've ordered the timing tools from Amazon. It doesn't look particularly hard to do, so I might have a go at doing it myself. Have Pete crack on with the Fiat 500. But we'll see when the parts come in, because I've got quite a lot on my plate now. But yeah, I mean, nice little turnaround in that car. But you know, we did do a good job of prepping it. My machine polished, the boys doing the interior wet clean on it, putting those nice wheel trims on, painting the wheels black behind it, and yeah, I'm sure it's going to make a cracking car for her. She's got to do some, she's a new trainer teacher, and she's got to do some runs all over the place, and I think this car with this slightly bigger car, probably better for the one of the little iGo-y ones. So Petey saved me once again. Timing chain on the Skoda Fabia. If it had just gone blindly ahead, we would have completely lunched this engine. The kit, I'll show you in a second what the difference of the kit is, but basically turns out that the motor factors have sent the wrong kit. But if you look online for this engine and put specifically this reg in, you'll come up with the same kit they sent me over and over again, but it is the wrong kit. And had it gone on, I think it would have done quite a bit of damage. I'll show you a sec. So this is the kit they sent. It's a TCK10. And like I say, if you Google this, this is what you'll get for this 6-valve Fabia engine of this age. But here's your cog. the top cog. I'm going to call them, like I say guys, I'm not a mechanic, so let's just call it, I want to call it top cog and bottom cog. And here's your bottom cog. Now, the issue with it was, and here's the chain. Now we accepted the chain might, you know, aftermarket, the chain might be cheaper, the cogs might be cheaper. But look at the thickness difference between the old cog and the new one. And the diameter's bigger as well, which again we thought the smaller one at the bottom, the diameter is also bigger. So we thought, well, okay, the actual thing, it might be the same overall. But again, it is quite a lot thinner. The new one's thinner than the old one. Now what I was doing is when we then went to look at putting the chain on, and bear in mind that the old chain was like this as well, nice sturdy 3-link, the single link. When we went to put the oil pump, the cog for the oil pump sits, this goes on first, and then the cog for the oil pump goes on behind it. Now because this is thinner, what was happening is when we put the cog for the oil pump on, the chain was at a lat angle, because we'd obviously shortened the distance, and it looked like it was just going to wear the guides out. So I rang up my parts people and said, are you sure this is the right kit? Yes, yes, yes. They went away and double checked and went, oh, actually, no. You've got, the kit you've got too many links in the chain, or something like that, they said. And what we got now coming is this Febby one here, and this all looks the same to me as the old one. That looks a lot more like the old one to me. Well, there's no keyway in that bottom cog again. But, yeah, see the difference. So fingers crossed that's going to be right. I mean, it has delayed the sale of the car, but you could have put it all together and it probably would have worked. But I think you'd have worn the guide out in the on the oil pump. So, yeah, Pete saved my hide again by not just blindly going ahead and fitting.